Welcome back, everyone. Man, today's explainer unpacks a match that absolutely shattered expectations. I mean, it broke records, and it literally stopped hearts. We're looking at the Azteca Classic, Mexico versus England, in the round of 16. It was a chaotic, beautiful, deeply dramatic 3-2 victory for the Three Lions, right in the heart of Mexico's ultimate fortress. Let's dive right into exactly how this historic night unfolded.
Now, to truly grasp the magnitude of this match, you kind of have to understand the environment they were stepping into. Picture this: 87,523 screaming, electric fans, creating an absolutely deafening home atmosphere at the iconic Estadio Azteca. And hey, if that literal wall of sound wasn't enough, there's the brutal physical toll. The Azteca sits at a daunting altitude of 2,240 meters. To put that into perspective, for a visiting team up that high, just breathing is hard, but thinking is even harder.
And then, well, there's the historical weight of it all. You see, England wasn't just playing 11 guys on the pitch. They were playing against history itself. We have to go back exactly 40 years to 1986. That was the last time England visited this very stadium. Yep, that was the year of Diego Maradona's infamous Hand of God goal, a deeply controversial moment that sent England crashing out of the tournament. So coming into this match, the mandate for the Three Lions was crystal clear: banish the ghost of 1986 once and for all.
Heading into kickoff, the contrast between the two squads was just massive. On one side, you had Mexico, who were arguably the most dominant team of the tournament up to that point. 5 matches played, 5 wins, and absolutely 0 goals conceded. I mean, a flawless defensive record. On the flip side, England had a much scrappier path, fresh off a pretty tight 2-1 win over DR Congo that featured a Harry Kane brace. And just to add to the already boiling tension, extreme weather conditions actually delayed the start of the match by a full hour. The anticipation was agonizing.
Okay, moving into Section 1, the 98-second magic.
So after a super tense opening half hour, this match suddenly catches fire. In the 36th minute, Bukayo Saka finds Jude Bellingham, who slots it home. 1-0 England. But wait, before the crowd could even process what just happened, literally just 98 seconds later, in the 38th minute, Harry Kane sets up Bellingham again, and he finishes it. Bam, 2-0. A 98-second brace that instantly silenced 87,000 roaring fans. Unbelievable!
Honestly, this was the exact moment we had been waiting for, delivering a breathtaking double in a super hostile stadium at extreme altitude in a massive elimination game. Jude Bellingham finally had his signature moment at the 2026 World Cup. He announced his arrival on the global stage in literally the most dramatic fashion possible.
But Mexico, backed by that incredible crowd, absolutely refused to break. They struck back almost immediately. In the 42nd minute, Julian Quiñones brought the stadium right back to life. Quansah attempted this tricky knee-height backheel, and Quiñones just pounced on it, lashing home a brilliant side volley to cut the deficit in half just before the break. 2-1. Game on. And those final minutes of the first half, pure, unadulterated defensive heroics from England. Jordan Pickford had to fling himself high to his right to tip a flying Raul Jimenez header over the crossbar. I mean, a genuine world-class save. And then, just moments later, Cesar Montes had a knockdown that looked like a guaranteed goal, only for Bellingham to come out of absolutely nowhere with a last-second goal line clearance. England somehow survived the surge, going into the dressing room up 2-1.
But everything, and I mean everything, changed early in the second half. 54th minute, red card. This was the massive turning point that completely altered the fabric of the match. Let's look at how it went down.
Let's walk through this sequence. England's right back, Quansah, goes sliding into a tackle on Jesus Gallardo, catching him on the shin. At first, the referee deems it a fair challenge. Play continues, but then the dreaded VAR review is initiated. Cue the agonizing wait. The referee goes to the monitor, comes back, and shows Quansah a straight red card. Just like that, England is down to 10 men, and that Mexican home crowd is instantly re-energized.
Which brings us to Section 2, the penalty drama. Right around the 60th minute, England launches this desperate counterattack. Anthony Gordon sprints after a long ball, forcing the Mexican goalkeeper, Raul Rangel, to rush completely off his line. Rangel misjudges it entirely and just takes out Gordon's legs. Penalty to England. Harry Kane steps up and buries it, 3-1. But hey, the drama wasn't over. Moments later, Mexico earns a VAR-awarded penalty of their own after a Kane foul involving Brian Gutierrez. Raul Jimenez steps up, converts, and suddenly it's 3-2. The match is well and truly on. Now for Section 3, the 10-man defensive wall. I want you to really think about the sheer math of England's survival here. 47 minutes. Try running at a high altitude for just 5 minutes. Now imagine doing it for 47 minutes while depleted, totally exhausted, and down a man, all while holding off relentless waves of Mexican attacks. That's 36 minutes of regular time, plus a grueling 11 minutes of stoppage time. The physical and mental resolve required here is just absolutely staggering.
And right at the center of that resolve was Jordan Pickford. He faced an incredible 20 shots from a ferocious Mexican front line. He was constantly active in the box, incredibly vocal, and he completely commanded his area under unimaginable pressure. Honestly, this will go down as the absolute career-best World Cup performance of Pickford's life, no question.
But, it wasn't just Pickford. The entire defensive unit formed an unbreakable wall. Dan Burn came on as a substitute and made a massive, immediate impact. John Stones pulled off a perfectly timed sliding intervention to clear the ball just the wrong side of the post when it mattered most. And even when corners were ricocheting off players, looping dangerously toward the goal, Pickford was right there to gather it up. When that final whistle finally blew, you saw tears of heartbreak streaming down the faces of the Mexican players, and wild, utterly exhausted celebration from England. What a scene!
All right, let's wrap this up with Section 4, Key Takeaways and What's Next.
The aftermath of this match leaves two completely different historical legacies. For England, it's a tale of epic 10-man heroism. They banished the ghost of 1986, securing a famous victory in the exact same stadium, and they're now heading to the quarterfinals for the third consecutive World Cup. But for Mexico, the heartbreak is historic. Remember, they entered with a perfect defensive record, but they leave having suffered their first ever loss at home in a World Cup game. Their wait to reach a quarterfinal, which also dates back to 1986, continues.
So, what happens now? England advances to the quarterfinals in Miami, where they are going to face Norway. And guys, this sets up an absolute blockbuster matchup. Jude Bellingham versus Erling Haaland. We are talking about two of the most explosive, exciting players in the entire tournament, going head-to-head on a single stage for a spot in the semifinals. Which leaves us with this final burning question. England just played 47 minutes down a man at high altitude. They gave absolutely everything physically and mentally to survive the Azteca. Can this battle-tested, completely exhausted squad possibly recover in time to face the unstoppable physical force that is Erling Haaland? It is going to be fascinating to watch. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer of a truly historic match. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming quarterfinal analysis. Until next time, keep learning.